We decided that I wasn't going to play an actual ADC and I would just play Mage's bot lane because I can't really play as well as Menvir in ADC.
We prepared against Conduit by doing 2 scrim blocks specified, and we scouted against them for a long, extensive time on their weakness and how we should be playing against them.
Prepping for finals, I did 1v1s with Gabe for hours and hours and hours for like a week and a half. Both of us really got our 1v1s on lock. I knew pretty well what Finbach was going to play. I practiced Cassante, Ornn, and Maokai really hard. I think I attribute that highly to why I was able to lane very well against him. And both goes for him as well. I played mid lane with him, so we practiced so much for our 1v1s to win our laning phases. And then during the series, after game 1, we realized that they have a superior prowess in true 5v5 front-to-back team fights. So after that game, we adjusted our team comps to be more of a skirmish and split push heavy style. And I feel like that undermined how they were wanting to play the game, and we were able to counter them with that and win.
Adjustments. I think as a team, we did a lot of adjustments, not just for finals. Like we did it eventually throughout the whole split, but even for finals, we had to do a lot. I think the team we faced were like really strong. So gameplay-wise, or even just what stress we needed, like for everything, we just had to make adjustments throughout the whole series as well.
For me, it was definitely Conduit Revelations for the finals because I'm off-rolled as ADC. I feel like it's really difficult for me to play into Menvir, like I said before. So I had to put in a lot of time trying to figure out how to be as safe as possible and let my team do a lot of the work.
Our toughest opponent was probably ourselves. I didn't really feel like any of the teams were that good enough as long as we prepared and prepped, and to be honest, we didn't really prep until finals.
Man, Neptune was really strong, Coach was really strong, Finbach was so strong. I do think I'll give it to Finbach. Man, they're so good. I really think that I kind of just had won the rock, paper, scissors against them because they all play tanks and I play anti-tanks. If I didn't have that really hard read on him, like Finbach's macro is so much better, his team fights were so much better. The only real advantage I had on him was superior 1v1 inside lane. Yeah, Finbach is a force of nature. I'll give it to him.
Oh, yeah. I think the finals opponents was the toughest, actually. I think that team could beat us any day, and we also beat them, but it's just who can adjust better between us and them. So I think that team was the hardest. Choosing one person would be difficult since we had our own roles. But I'll definitely say that I think Jackie, as our ADC, did a lot of things which were kind of underrated. Like me or Ultimize, we popped off some games and like had really crazy scores. But most of the times we got resources. But Jackie played almost the whole tournament with lesser resources than top or mid. And also Flowers had the same role, so I would say ADC Jungle deserves a big shout out there.
I'd say, like, in terms of best gameplay, I'd give it to Gabe and Ultimice because they both were able to be the main carries of the team consistently and performed on it. Other than that, I would give it to Barillo for teaching me how to play ADC and playing a whole entire split with an auto-filled ADC, telling me what to do and all that. Like, I can see how that would be really frustrating as someone who plays support sometimes without an ADC player. It's a pretty awful experience sometimes.
I believe the MVP on the team was Gabriel. Even though we had the rocky start 0-2 when he played AD carry, somehow he convinced me to play AD carry. We managed to swap back to mid lane, where he ended up putting a lot of pressure and moving up into the MVP season that he should have been given that season.
We have very different play styles. Gabe and I have very greedy, selfish play styles, and we carry hard, but we have all of the resources of our team. But then there's Jackie, who sacrificed her lane, gave up all of most of what she knows, which is mid lane, and learned a completely new thing on AD carry. And then on top of that, she was weak-sided every game. She had no resources, really low economy. She was just full neglected, yet she still managed to have a comparable damage and just general utility and damage output compared to her opponents. So I think that it's easy to carry when you have all the resources. It's hard to carry when you have no resources, which is what I think that she did very well. So I'll give it to. But then also Gabe, a really big shout out to how much he was working with me and how much we worked together to build each other up and learn during that last week before finals. I'd give it to Gabe or Jackie. I'm kind of tied there.
My favorite moment would be Game 4 versus TPO when it was full tank team versus full tank team. I had 58 CS at 14 minutes on Seraphine, and the last team fight at about 35, 40-ish minutes lasted 2.5 minutes long of just Silas with Swain ult versus Swain with Swain ult. And no damage on either side. It was a really funny team fight.
My favorite play this season was Game 2 of Finals against Conduit when we were behind and the Conduit team went for the Baron and they flipped and our jungler's Flower stole Baron. We end up stealing it, killing them, and then 1 minute later won the game and got back in position of winning to Finals.
Oh man, that the same game Jackie talked about, that was absolute cinema. It was just 10 champions bashing heads for multiple minutes on end during that game. It was incredible. I think though, for myself, I'll have to do in the last game of finals when I 1v4'd on Alawi. Man, I think that really sealed the game there with that.
I mean, winning always feels great, so definitely winning the final game, or the final series and being the champion felt really nice. But to be honest, if I have any specific play that was favorite, that was anytime I was on Nico. That champion is so fun. I can be anything and just opponent doesn't know, then I out multiple people dies. Yeah, I would say any moment of playing Nico and making some smart plays.
I currently don't have any plans at the moment. I'm kind of focused on work.
I think whether or not I'm playing depends on how much of a disaster the next season of League is, season 15. I have a feeling that that season's going to be a disaster, and I'm not going to want to play this game. So I'll answer that question when the patch drops.
Well, I want to play League, regardless of where I'm playing. So currently, I don't have any teams for next split. This split just ended, but the league I'll be playing in, if I get any teams, I'd prefer to just play and win maybe again.
I want to give a shout out to Manveer and Raven when we played against the finals. They used to be my teammates, and it's very fun to see them grow, becoming champions, and playing against them. And I would like to thank Titan for their board for hosting the tournament. Always have a great time, great people. Definitely enjoy Titan Plus. It's definitely worth your money.
I didn't mention it, but shout out to Chelsea. Draft coaching for us during finals during their own playoff games. They were in a playoff series, and then they left their Discord call to join us for a couple minutes and carried draft. Honestly, man, the community was good. We had a nice underdog story. We came back really hard. We were rooted against for most of the season. They call it, I don't know if it's support, but I'll call it motivation to win. Very big motivation to win.
Yeah, obviously. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. It was crazy seeing so many people people or like old friends / old teammates. A lot of people showed up, kind of praised us, was mainly watching those games when we were streamed, or even talking like in gen chats about like the matchups and all that. That was really fun. I really enjoyed this bit playing, and mainly because they were there. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.